Well, let's do a final summary then of this Monaco Grand Prix. Honestly, it's a great Grand Prix, and I liked it. I have to admit. I don't know what happened with the FIA today. It was as impressive how many penalties they gave out. Bastante. I think we should do a full count of the number of penalties. And I think we'd be in for quite a great driving by Andrea Gimi Antonelli. No doubt, I think he's living up to the name. His father gave him today. Great driving by the Italian kid who last year didn't have the best Formula One debut. He crashed in Q1. He couldn't get past that stage. He even lost 2 laps in the race, ending up in the last positions. And this year, it's totally different. Totally different. Because at first we thought everything was rosy, everything was red, everything was Ferrari. And then in qualifying yesterday, he showed why he's leading the championship, why he takes advantage. He knows how to make the most of the car they gave him and finished first in qualifying and first in the race. A very good start. The first one, a very good start under the pressure of having a world champion like Lewis Hamilton. The second start was very good as well. And he ends up taking an excellent Grand Prix. He reaches real glory because we're talking about Monaco, one of the 3 crown jewels, just as Nacho said at the beginning of the broadcast. Without a doubt, for me, this Grand Prix, I don't know about you, my dear friend, what you think, but for me, it was a pretty exciting Grand Prix, unlike last year.
Yes, I think so too. It was very exciting. It was positive, considering how things are going with the regulations. I think that's something fundamental. Let's see, there was a Grand Prix that, considering all the circumstances of the regulations and the complications and the lack of speed and so on, and with the energy issue, well, on a circuit where that doesn't matter as much, I think we saw something positive. They also encountered a factor that I think is key, which was the issue with the brakes, with the temperature, and that made it more interesting too, right? Because it changed the plans a bit. It changed things. It changed the situation, right? It changed the context, the outlook of the race. What I personally also thought, I thought it really changed the outlook, was, well, penalties for you, for him, for everyone, everywhere.
The distribution was the same.
Yes, yes, yes. They handed it out to everyone. It was totally fair. Speaking of justice, it was totally fair. But I thought it was an interesting race that also showed, first, Antonelli's qualities. No doubt about Antonelli. I'll say it again. Toto was happy with what he saw, and this guy is going places. He's moving up. I think we also saw some strategies that we've already seen last year, like what Williams did, forming the train. I think there was a lot to talk about, at least in this race, and I think it was worth it. Since it's only once a year, I repeat, since it's only once a year, honestly, I think it was good. There are obviously high points, lower points. I think Ferrari still needs something, still needs more, even though Hamilton ended up there. Yes, not only in terms of power, well, they're also going to want to solve the duo issue. I think that
They are asking.
please already. They're asking for it, yes. In fact, Ferrari kind of backed down a bit with the whole 2027 thing because they have to work on 2 fronts, right? Now, with the whole thing about the additive to improve the engine, I don't know. But then working on 2027 to change the whole 60-40 thing, well, but Ferrari is still a bit behind. Today it showed that McLaren isn't so powerful on this type of circuit, obviously on the slower tracks. Yeah, and honestly, I think it was interesting to draw some. I just got some information regarding Leclerc. The problem with Leclerc wasn't about the horn or the asphalt. He obviously had a problem with the rear brakes. If I have it here to go over it, I'll say it word for word. But obviously, he had a problem there with the axle, with the rear axle. He skidded, and obviously after that, he couldn't solve it. He couldn't keep it under control, and well, but it's related to that. It's related to the issue with the rear end. He couldn't hold it, and well, there he lost. He obviously lost control of the car, and crashed into the Tech Pro barrier. But well, the boss, the home favorite, the crown holder, the chosen one, has missed out on his chance today. And well, now it's the kid's turn. The other one, destined for glory. What?
It must be crazy for Ferrari today, right? I mean, for the tifosi in general, for the Italians, because they're obviously 100% red, 100% rosso, but today they must be really happy.
Well, there have been what do you call it, front pages of the Italian media, right? From La Gazzetta, where they talked more about Antonelli than about Ferrari, and that's already a plus. I mean, that's pure Italian pride, right?
It's a warning, exactly. Well, Luca, your thoughts?
Quite an interesting race. I think most of the people watching this broadcast didn't have high expectations for it because of how last year's Monaco Grand Prix was, which only had one overtake in the 78 laps that took place. Quite an interesting race with many retirements and a lot of surprises. We have Franco Colapinto in the last position, and for those who don't remember, Checo Perez is scoring his first point with Cadillac. He finished 10th. The Mexican, a Mexican whom we criticized a bit at the start of the race, but with both good moves and mistakes, he finished within the top 10, scoring his first point with Cadillac, with the new team in Formula One. A Grand Prix that, as we said during the broadcast, happens once a year. I don't think it's such a big deal to want to remove it completely from the Formula One calendar. I feel that it's a race that's enjoyed mostly because of what happens on Friday and Saturday more than what happens on Sunday. The only race where people look forward more to what happens in qualifying than in the race itself. And I think that the Monaco Grand Prix is Formula One's signature Grand Prix, and it should remain in Formula One. And with today's race, it showed us why it is the Grand Prix of Formula One.
Absolutely.
No doubt, really.
Once a year doesn't hurt.
Once a year doesn't hurt.
Well, guys, if you agree, let's wrap up this broadcast. Thanks to everyone who's on the other side joining us. Don't forget to leave your like. Don't forget to leave your comment. Don't forget to subscribe.